Good day, everybody. It's Jameson, and I am starting in on a commission. And honestly, I don't know if there's anything you're going to learn in this video. So, as I've said recently, this is really more my video diary of projects that I do. Now, if you take inspiration from this and want to try your own, go for it. I do not hold any creative license to this one, so feel free to go after it however you want. So, if you want to watch this, great. I'm not sure if you'll pick up technique, but here you go. So, I have received a request from somebody to see if I could make a panel in glass that looks like this. So here is the inspiration photo. Now that's yarn on the left. That's, but she found this online and somebody had used the yarn colors as inspiration for this painting. And she said, is there any way you could do a glass piece that kind of starts to mimic this painting? Now, clearly, when you're looking at this painting, this has, a lot of oil, kind of oil and water type acrylic reaction, whatever. You're not going to get exactly that with glass, but I did do a sample piece to kind of show her that I can hit those colors and have some fun with it at the same time. I turned that sample piece, which she then liked, so kind of proof of concept. She's not local. We had to do all this by video and photos back and forth, but she liked the proof of concept and said, let's go for it and have fun and kind of create and do what you want. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here, which is fun. I enjoy a commission where I get a little bit of artistic freedom. So she liked the sample. I then turned that sample into jewelry so that I could continue to get some value out of the glass that I used there. But now I'm ready to do the full piece. So I'm at a little bit of a weird camera angle here and kind of zoomed out so that you could see this whole piece because it's big. It is 12 by 18 and it's going to go in a stand that I have. And I'm going to build this. I want to dust it with clear powder when I'm done with the whole thing. So I'm building it on a lid and over some paper, which is why you can see that dark spot in the middle there. But I am just going to load this thing up with frit and vitrograph and stringers and dots and just all sorts of things to try to give the look and feel of something that's kind of organic but and little flowy and fun. We decided on French vanilla as the base because she likes the reaction that you get with French vanilla and turquoise, so I'll be using some of that. Got all sorts of frits and colors and stuff that I'm using, so I'm just going to get started. I am going to do this on time lapse, and so you're just going to see me build and build and move and build and keep on going, and we'll see what we turn out with or what it looks like when it turns out. So I'm going to use 2 layers of glass, by the way. I've got a clear sheet that is dusted with clear powder on fiber paper already in my kiln. I am building this as a single sheet on French vanilla. I will build this whole thing and then very carefully transport it over to my kiln once I'm done. So let's get started. Okay, I'm going mobile here for this one so that I can really get in here and show you everything that I did. Lots of different colors of frit and vitrograph and Murini slices. I mean, I just had a blast with this. So let me kind of go through here and show you some of the things I use. Now, this does feature quite a few different vendors, and so if there's any of this that you're interested in and it might be available, then because I've been making this collection of things over years, really, these elements, and so I'll go ahead and post some links in the video notes, but let me just show you what I used. Let's actually first start talking about frit colors. So I used turquoise blue, coarse frit. I used spring green, coarse frit. There's a little bit of French vanilla on here. Now, a note about the French vanilla. French vanilla on French vanilla looks really cool. So there's some French vanilla sprinkles in here to kind of break up some of that frit, but I also have a fair amount on the outside edges. So, we wanted to try to, based on the conversation we had, we wanted to try to concentrate the color on the inside for the most part. But I thought that the frit, you know, toward the edge, toward the outside, would add some interesting, draw your eye a little bit without being too colorful. There is a little bit of deep royal blue in here, not too much. There is some light aventurine green, because you gotta love that sparkle. And this was an interesting choice. Mint opal and deep forest green. This is a streaky, like, 2-color mix that then's turned into frit. And so that is really cool because it gives some variation. There's some streakiness to it, and it really adds some interesting, when you get right up close to it, it adds some really interesting creative lines and such to it. So those were my frit choices. Then other elements include lots of these chopped up cane. These were from Lori Moreno from Wilderness Glass. Now, these are what she calls her kind of seconds, her factory seconds, if you will. These were scrap that weren't perfect in her eye. And so every once in a while she'll offer these for sale, and so I grabbed several of these because I think they're gorgeous. While they may not be perfect in her eye, they're great for this type of work. So there's several of those pieces all around here to add some really interesting elements to it. So that's where some of Lori's work came in. I also have a couple of these hollows that were largely clear with just a little bit of streaky in it. There are 4 of them, I think, on this piece. Those came from Tabitha. They were in Tabitha Burrell with Glass by Tabitha. No, Tabitha's Glass Emporium, that's what it's called. Anyway, I'll post a link. Anyway, Tabitha, I think those might have been in a candy mix or something that I got from her, so those are random. I only had 4 of them, but I decided to use them because I think the amount of clear that's in there, as those melt down, that's going to displace some of this color and make it really cool. Other elements. I have some streaky, here you go, some streaky glass that was, gosh, I can't even remember, deep cobalt blue and oh hell, I don't remember, but it's really cool streaky glass, and I had chopped some up and I decided to place them on their ends, on the edge, and just a couple of them, but with the idea that, there's another one hiding in there, that when they melt they'll kind of puddle out and there will be a streak of color in the middle of that, and that could look cool. She asked for some peacock colors, and so I do have some peacock glass. They don't make peacock frit. I had chopped some up and fired my own peacock, there's the peacock there, some of my own little dots and puddles, and used a few of those. Now I was careful, there's another one hiding in there. Peacock and French vanilla react, there's one. They react and get pretty dark and almost can look like black spots. So for the peacock, I made sure to put them on top of other frit as much as I could, so that they're not laying directly on top of that vanilla, and then they may retain a little bit more of their color and not have such a reaction. I love, as you know, to use copper carbonate, and so I had made some copper carbonate puddles, and so I've got a couple of those in here. There's another one. So there's a fair amount of clear glass that'll also displace, but those bubbles will come through, and they'll look super amazing and right in the color scheme. I've also played with some bubble powders, and so there's kind of a teal color here, kind of a peacocky one. There's 2 of those, so I put those in there as well. You are seeing lots of vitrograph, like this amazing piece right here, that long piece, this blue piece, the kind of squiggly piece that ended up getting, sorry about that, ended up getting almost covered, but this little squiggly piece here, those are vitrograph that after talking about how much I love vitrograph, I had a subscriber who sent me some just to play with, because I don't have a vitrograph kiln, and so she sent me these large kind of bulbs and beautiful blue and green pieces, and so those are from her. Thank you very much, you know who you are. Other vitrograph in here, there are smaller kind of spring green pieces of vitrograph, those, that one. Those are from JL Vitrograph, or JL Glass. They're on Etsy, I'll drop a link. One of the things that they have that are really fun, JL Glass Designs, they have macaroni, which are really, you know, round vitrograph that have been chopped up. And so I have these in clear. And so I added some of these clear macaroni, there's another one right there, to create some interesting movement when these melt down. They're going to diffuse some of the color that's under them. And so I thought that those would be cool. So this is the first time I've used these macaroni, and I'm eager to see, there's another one, what they turn out to look like. And then again, that green, some of the smaller green vitrograph came from them as well. I put some clear dots in there that I had done. Just again, there's another clear one for some displacement of color. And then you also see the green dots there that are on either side. I've used a few green that I had done over time. I don't know what colors they are. They're just random scrap that on a full fuse went into the kiln and created dots. And then finally, kind of across the top, I think finally, I'm looking around, I don't think there's anything else I've missed. I've featured in some other videos in the past, in my underwater videos, I bought some largely clear vitrograph from Tabitha that has what's called just a touch of dichro in it. And so that's with all that clear kind of squiggly vitrograph that you see across the top. There is literally just a touch of dichro. So this is gonna offer a little bit of you know, kind of movement again in this glass, and some swirls and some additional color displacement, but also maybe just a little bit of sparkle. And so that'll be cool. Now, I'm going to very carefully, well, first I'm going to dust clear powder over this entire thing. So I wanted to show it to you before I put the powder on. And the reason I'm putting powder on, there are two reasons here. One, I just really want this to kind of shine. There's a risk that some of this, I suppose, could devitrify a little bit, and I'd like to try to avoid that if I can. So I'm going to do clear powder across the whole thing just to give it a really nice, even, beautiful shine. And then the other reason is because other than just a few touches of hairspray to keep like those pieces of glass on end, I did not glue anything else down, but I figured these are so topsy-turvy, they might fall over, so I did glue those down with hairspray, but everything else is loose and just laying on this sheet of glass. And I've got about 4 feet that I need to get over to my kiln. So I'm thinking that the clear powder will also kind of set everything, or at least keep it from moving around too much. We'll keep some of the frit from rolling, that kind of thing. So I am going to dust this with clear powder. I'm going to hold my breath as I very carefully walk this over to the kiln and place it on my shelf. And then this is going to go in for a full fuse, obviously. Well, not obviously, I think a heavy contour would look cool, but she wants it nice and flat, so a nice full fuse. And it is going to have quite a bubble squeeze on it. So I need to figure out my schedule. As always, I put my video notes and my schedules, I put my schedules in my video notes. So when you go looking for the links of these suppliers, you'll also find the schedule that I decide to use. But I'm going to do a nice long bubble squeeze and then a good long full fuse with a nice soak at the top to try to get all of this to combine. And then let's see what it looks like when it comes out. Okay, y'all, I just took this out and I am so excited about it. So I'm going to zoom in and walk you through some of the elements that we talked about pre-fuse. So, I mean, check out those canes, the way they melted and just created those fascinating elements. There's an example of the blue that I put on edge. There is the bubble piece that was in there, one of them. There's another one that was in there. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so excited. Okay, so this was an example of one of the tall, clear hollows that came in Tabitha's candy mix that I dropped a couple of pieces of frit into the middle of, and then it fused. There's some of the peacock glass. There's another one of those blue pieces. There's another one of the Tabitha hollows. So there's a little bit of internal color, which is just so cool. More bubble pieces. I've got the clear touch of dichro stringer throughout this, so you see that. Oh, there's a little bit of sparkle right there. I'm not sure if you caught it at the top. Sorry for this camera work. I'm going rogue here because I've just got so much to show you. You see the sparkle of the blue aventurine. That, yeah, that touch of dichro is pretty cool. It creates a little bit of flow. What else is in here? Oh yeah, so there were some, well, I already told you about the peacock. There were also some of those clear noodles, macaroni, and so that's an example of it right here. I don't know if you can see, you know, kind of the way that scoops, and so it's just a little bit of dimension. There's another one, you know, kind of clear dimension. This is not coming across in video as much as it is in person. I could stare at this thing for hours because there's so much movement, so much happening. Oh my gosh, it's just so cool. The pops of bright blue, the pops of the other, sorry for the video, the other blue there with the streaky in it. These pieces of vitrograph are just really awesome. Everything came out nice and shiny. I don't see any problems with devitrification. The clear powder helped with that. That spring green stringer is just awesome, the way that creates more movement in here. The large pieces of clear, some of the clear dots that create more movement. I'm really taken with these pieces of cane. The French vanilla frit on French vanilla, look how cool that is. And so as I zoom out again, she wanted, you know, the outer portion to be kind of lighter with the most of the color saturation in the middle, which I accomplished, but still with some interesting variations on that outer portion. So let me now, the problem with this is it's so large, it's not going to fit in my normal photo setup, so I'm going to have to get a photo of this, but I just wanted you to see this as it's out of the kiln and absolutely gorgeous. I'm thrilled, thrilled, thrilled. So let me take a few final pictures and share those with you. Okay, one more final note. I had to create for myself out here in my studio a little bit better photography setup. I love the way glass photographs against gray the most. And so I bought this gray backdrop, which was super cheap on Amazon. I'll put it in my Amazon store. And I bought some actual like professional-ish lights that are on tripods. Sorry. And they made a world of difference. So they really, I mean, the photos that I'm shooting, I'm just shooting with my iPhone. This is on my workbench. I have it hanging from my shelf up above. You had to steam it out because it had a lot of wrinkles in it, but I used a steamer, steamed it out, set up these lights real simple. I liked this set too, because not only did it come with the lights and the tripod and the light bulbs and everything, it also came with a reflector. There's different colors within here. You can do like a gold reflector or something to give yourself a little bit more light. And so I was able to take good photos like this with this setup, and it was, you know, about $110 for me to do this, and it's going to make a big difference when I have large pieces of glass that I'm trying to sell, or, you know, galleries I'm trying to get into, or that kind of thing. So just a quick note, I just hung it from the top. You know, these things break down and fold away pretty easily, so I'll only set this up when I have large pieces, but thought I would just share what that looks like.